Welcome back to the deep dive. We've got a really interesting set of sources this week, basically, a film critic's curated list, like the 9 essential Christmas films.
Yeah, and when you hear essential, you probably picture, I don't know, sleigh bells and snow, right? Maybe some classic animation.
Exactly. But this list, it kind of throws that out the window.
It really does. So our mission here, what we're trying to unpack, is what's the common thread? How do you link, say, a heartwarming classic about saving a town with an action movie set during a Christmas party? What makes them both essential?
That's the core question.
Yeah.
Because you've got the ones everyone agrees on, like The Wonderful Life is on there, obviously.
Hammerstone, yeah.
But then right next to it, you get something like Die Hard, which, people argue about constantly. Is it really a Christmas movie?
And that variety, that's what we need to get into. It tells us something about what essential means here.
Okay, so let's start with the ones that feel maybe a bit more, well, traditional, even if they're kind of quirky.
Right, let's ease in. First up, Santa Claus, the movie. And the source notes, interestingly, it was kind of a flop at the box office initially.
Yeah, I remember that. But it found this afterlife, didn't it? It became a bit of a cult thing.
Exactly. And the critic argues its inclusion comes down to its attempt to give Santa an origin story, even if it's, let's be honest, pretty thin.
Yeah. Thin is maybe generous. But the source really flags John Lithgow's performance, his character, the corporate rival.
Oh, yeah. Described as this amazing pantomime portrayal, totally over the top.
You just love to hate him. And maybe that kind of broad, almost silly Christmas energy is essential in its own way, like essential fluff.
Essential fluff, I like that. Okay, so moving from fluff to, well, a juggernaut, Home Alone.
Yes.
Ah.
Can't escape this one.
You really can't. And it's not just essential because, Kevin gets left behind and fights off burglars. Everyone knows the plot.
Right.
The analysis points to something deeper, like this primal theme of defending your home, your family unit, even if it's through cartoonish violence.
That makes sense. The chaos is part of the appeal, that feeling of a kid taking control. And the source mentioned a rumor. Something about a studio exec getting fired for passing on it.
Yeah, apparently. Because it made, $17 million at the first weekend? It was huge.
So its sheer cultural and financial weight makes it kind of undeniable, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's the essential ritual of watching Macaulay Culkin outsmart Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern.
Definitely. Okay, rounding out this sort of lighter section, we have Elf.
Jon Favreau directing Will Ferrell, 2003. A modern classic, for sure.
It really is. Ferrell plays Buddy, the human raised by elves in the North Pole. And the critics' take is that it works because it just commits so hard to that innocence, but in a modern way.
He goes to New York, finds his cynical biological dad, played by James Caan,
and tries to win him over with, pure, unfiltered Christmas spirit. It's weaponized joy.
Weaponized joy, that's perfect. The source just says it's quite simply hilarious, and yeah, it holds up.
It does. So these films kind of anchor the list in something recognizable, maybe nostalgic.
But then the list takes a turn.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is where it gets really interesting because according to this critic, an essential Christmas film also has to be willing to get, dark or cynical or even lean into black humor.
Okay, let's dive into that. First up is Gremlins.
Right. The ultimate dark holiday comedy, maybe. It sort of set the template. You've got Gizmo, the cute mogwai.
But with those rules, don't get him wet, keep him out of sunlight.
And never, ever feed him after midnight, which of course happens, and then Kingston Falls is overrun.
Joe Dante directed it, and the source praises how he balances the funny and the scary, that black humor element.
Yeah, it's key. But, the source also admits the plot's got holes you could drive a truck through, so much so the sequel openly makes fun of them.
That's true.
So maybe its essential status isn't about perfection, but about injecting that necessary anarchy, that disruption of the cozy holiday vibe.
The structural anarchy.
Yeah.
That actually leads us pretty neatly to the next one. The Nightmare Before Christmas. Henry Selick's stop-motion masterpiece from '93.
Ah, yes. Jack Skellington, the Pumpkin King. He's just bored with Halloween, isn't he?
Totally bored. Same old screams, same old scares. And then he discovers Christmastown.
And decides he wants a change of career. He's going to take over Christmas, which predictably goes horribly wrong.
It's kind of the perfect metaphor, isn't it? Trying to force one holiday's meaning onto another. It makes you think about what Christmas actually is.
Exactly. It forces that reevaluation. Plus, the animation is just stunning and the songs are unforgettable. That makes the whole exploration, fun.
Okay, sticking with the reevaluation theme, but adding a big dose of cynicism. Scrooged.
Bill Murray. The definitive modern take on A Christmas Carol for a lot of people.
He plays Frank Cross, this totally ruthless TV exec, obsessed with ratings and money. A perfect modern Scrooge.
It follows the basic redemption arc, obviously, but the commentary highlights that this version is, well, it's actually pretty dark.
Yeah, it doesn't shy away from being unpleasant. And the ghosts are updated, right? I remember the source mentioning a specific detail.
Yes. One of the ghosts is described as a violent fairy, which tells you everything about the tone.
Huh. Right. It's that willingness to make the journey to redemption feel genuinely uncomfortable mixed with that dark humor. That seems to be what the critic values here.
Definitely. It's not just warm fuzzies.
Okay. So we've done sentiment, we've done the darker, cynical side. Now we get to the real boundary pushers, the films that make you ask, wait, this is essential.
This is where the definition really gets stretched, and we have to start with the big one, the one that fuels endless online debate. Die Hard.
The ultimate test case. Is it a Christmas movie?
Well, the critic makes a case, and it's purely thematic. Yes, it's set during an LA Christmas party, John McClane, terrorists, Nakatomi Plaza. We know the setup. But the argument is, the core themes are miracles, faith, families coming together, and good triumphing over evil. All supposedly amplified by the Christmas setting.
Okay, I see the argument. But faith, family, good over evil, doesn't that describe, like, half of all action movies?
That's the pushback, right? Why is the Christmas part necessary? Is it just window dressing, or does it genuinely heighten those themes, as the critic suggests?
It seems like the critic believes the holiday context makes those universal themes feel more intense, more significant, enough to qualify it.
I think that's the angle. It's about the intensity of the realization or the struggle happening at Christmas. It's not about the snow or the carols necessarily.
Okay, fair enough. It's a specific interpretation. But if we accept that kind of thematic justification, we need to immediately contrast it with the film that feels like the absolute emotional bedrock of this whole list.
Absolutely. We have to talk about It's a Wonderful Life.
Frank Capra, James Stewart as George Bailey. This feels like the polar opposite of Die Hard's action resolution.
It really does. It grounds everything in personal sacrifice, community, and the consequences of a single life. George is always putting Bedford Falls first, right? Giving up his own dreams.
And the film's power, which the source really emphasizes, comes from that dark turn, seeing what the town, what the world would be like if he'd never been born.
Pottersville.
Yeah.
It doesn't shy away from suffering or unfairness. It reflects that life can be genuinely hard.
Which makes that ending, when the whole town rallies around him, realizing his value, it makes it incredibly powerful.
It's that collective realization, that outpouring of kindness. The source says it reaffirms faith in the human race. And maybe that's why watching it feels like such an essential ritual for so many people.
It's the ultimate catharsis. But what's really wild is that the critic puts this foundational classic right alongside, well, probably the most unexpected film on the entire list.
Yeah, this one came out of left field for me too. Joyeux Noël.
A World War I drama, set in the trenches. How does that become an essential Christmas film?
Well, it's set specifically on Christmas Eve, 1914, and it depicts the famous Christmas truce, this unbelievably true story, as the source calls it.
Where soldiers from opposing sides, French, German, Scottish, just spontaneously stopped fighting.
Exactly. The source highlights the specific details. They came out of the trenches, shared gifts, sang carols together, even supposedly played a game of football on no man's land.
Wow. So the film isn't about traditional Christmas cheer at all. It's about something else.
It's about that moment of shared humanity, of unity, emerging from the absolute worst of circumstances. The source says it explores the futility of war by showing this brief, powerful connection.
Okay, so connecting that back, if Joyeux Noël is essential, it suggests the core requirement isn't happiness or presents or Santa.
It's that profound, maybe unexpected realization of connection, of shared humanity, even or maybe especially when it arises from conflict or suffering. It's essential because it's about finding unity against the odds.
So, wrapping this all up, looking at this whole strange, diverse list, what's the takeaway? What makes a film essential Christmas viewing, according to this critic?
Well, it seems it can be a few things. It could be sheer commercial power and nostalgia, like Home Alone. It could be the willingness to embrace darkness or satire, like Gremlins or Scrooged. Or it could be about profound thematic resonance, even in unexpected settings, like Die Hard or Joyeux Noël.
But there has to be some common element pulling them together, right?
I think so. The thread seems to be this. Each film, in its own way, forces an intense confrontation with or realization of something important, whether it's the value of community in It's a Wonderful Life, the need for connection amidst horror in Joy Noel, or even, arguably, the triumph of good in Die Hard. It's about a moment of intense reckoning or grace, often tied to themes of unity, redemption, or recognizing value.
So it's much broader than just feeling festive. It requires a deeper, sometimes even difficult engagement with what matters.
Exactly. It's about a life-altering realization happening around Christmas time, or using Christmas as a catalyst.
Okay, that actually makes a lot of sense of the list. Which leaves us with a final thought, maybe something for you, the listener, to chew on.
Right.
If we accept this broader definition that an essential film can focus on shared suffering or sacrifice leading to a moment of collective joy or connection, like in It's a Wonderful Life or Joyeux Noël.
Then what other films, ones that aren't obviously Christmas movies, might fit that mold? Think about films centered on maybe extreme teamwork under pressure or sudden, unexpected acts of deep empathy that bring people together. Where else do you find that powerful feeling of intense human connection emerging when you least expect it? Something to think about.